Hello gamers around the world, I'm Spurkis and welcome to Game Breaking News, the show where you can get everything important that happened this week in the world of gaming. Oh man, can you feel it? There's a hint of announcements and the future of gaming in the air. I mean, we're now 1 month away from E3, and while the week before was a bit slow regarding news, this week we got new games, new announcements, leaks and famous game series to be put on hold or might even get cancelled. Okay, granted, most of that news is not because of E3 next month, but more because many companies had the end of their fiscal year last month, but still. So, the important things first, and that is that the Bug Butt add-on is now available for Farming Simulator 17. Fuck yeah! Okay, jokes aside, let's get to the real news. Bus Simulator 16 is getting a gold edition and a new MAN Lion City CNG DLC was announced as well, which means that you can now drive more environmental friendly through the cities. You know, in a video game. I mean, that's a double fuck yeah right there. Okay, enough with that, let's get to the news now, which is currently not really news per se because it's mostly leaks and rumors, but screw it, let's do it anyways. That is basically what Ubisoft is saying when they're developing a new game, like Assassin's Creed games. Okay, since last year there was no Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft already announced that there will be one this year, but settings, features or the like are not known yet. But I'm pretty sure that we will get an official announcement in the next 2 weeks, with a little teaser trailer and the name of the game and the setting, and at E3 we get a full game reveal and a gameplay presentation and whatnot. But leaks and rumors of this week about Assassin's Creed contain, well, the setting and the name. The next part is probably called Assassin's Creed Origins and you play in Egypt. The map is supposed to be bigger than ever before because you will be also able to sail again across the map, just like in Black Flag. And with map size, we are talking about sailing between Egypt and Greece, most likely Cyprus as well, maybe even Italy. So you got the half of the Mediterranean area to play around with. Just like in Assassin's Creed Unity, there will be again 2 main characters, a female and a male one. The story is supposed to be less linear and the world more open, more focused on exploration. The skill system is supposed to resemble the one in Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. And there was also a leaked screenshot right here this week, which was also confirmed to be the real deal by numerous sources, according to Eurogamer. What is interesting to see here is that, like the other leaks said, you can sail across the map, but also that the protagonist has a shield on his back, which likely means that they have reworked the combat system, and I personally hope that they made it basically more challenging, so the title won't just play itself. Seriously, Ubisoft, this is not a mobile game. Anyway, there were also rumors this week about the next Far Cry, which will be the 5th title. Basically, it was about the setting in where it will play, and it might be that it will be a Western setting in Far Cry 5. It was a possible setting in a survey that Ubisoft made back in 2015, where they were asking the community about possible settings that they would like. Now, what was interesting this week was this screenshot here. The internet, especially the video game media, went nuts about that, because they suspected it to be a leaked screenshot for Red Dead Redemption 2. After those new rumors about Far Cry 5, many thought that it was a leaked screenshot for Far Cry 5, but in the end, it was just a well-made marketing gag with a perfect timing to promote the upcoming Kickstarter campaign for a Western MMO from a newly founded studio called 612 Games, and the game is simply called Wild West Online. We don't know anything about this game yet, but the screenshot looks cool, and honestly, Red Dead Redemption is coming out this fall, and if Far Cry 5 will be a Western, and if this Wild West Online game will actually deliver and sell, well, I can already see that until 2020 we will get a new wave of Western titles. And honestly, at the moment, I wouldn't mind that one bit. You know what else falls into the I don't mind category? Vanquish is coming to PC on the 25th of May. The action shooter from Platinum Games is finally coming to PC after 7 years. Some other I don't mind like news that happened this week? Well, how about Steam now explains to you why a game is recommended to you. Now you can see it has, for example, a very positive ratings. The curators that you're following, they're liking that, and friends that you have want to have the game or they already have the game, things like that. Why not? What else happened this week in Steam? Well, according to yet another leak, there was an email from Steam to developers where they informed them about the date of the summer sale, which is, according to this leak, most likely to be between the 22nd of June and the 5th of July. Now, of course, like always, Steam won't say anything about the sale until it is actually about to roll out, so nothing is sure yet. But this time frame seems quite likely because it overlaps with last year's summer sale and it also includes the 4th of July, which doesn't really impact most of the world. I know Americans, it's hard to take the pill, but USA is not most of the world. But still, lots of sales are made in the US, so you should mark your calendars from the 22nd of June until the 5th of July for the Steam summer sale, because it's likely to be there. Meanwhile, Microsoft announced its own controllers for VR headsets and Windows 10. But Microsoft is not making its own VR headsets. They are partnering with various companies like Acer, Asus, Dell, HP and Lenovo. And they want to bring out bundles of headsets and those controllers later this year at about $300 to $400. So that's how Microsoft will try to get into the VR market. Interesting. Meanwhile, Sony is leading the race with 375,000 sold PSVR in the first quarter of 2017. According to Superdata, a tracking company that, well, keeps track on sold stuff. In the same time period, Oculus sold 64,000 units. Man, Oculus, shit's not working out, doesn't it? And the HTC Vive sold 95,000 units. Honestly, I expected more from the Vive. Anyways, Sony already confirmed in February that 915,000 PSVRs were sold since launch, and with that data, Superdata expects that they will sell about 2.6 million PSVR in 2017. The Vive will sell 553,000 and the Oculus 356,000 units. While I think these numbers are a bit too big and we won't reach that, even with the sales Christmas madness that will boost sales, but still, man, the PSVR is leaving their competitors behind, and it is already confirmed that Star Wars Battlefront 2 will get VR on PlayStation. If it's going to be just a mission or a mode or a full VR conversion, well, that remains to be seen, or if VR will also be available on PC. But, well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some answers on that on E3 next month. But, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's take a break. Let's take a short break to appreciate that our mothers are the persons they are and not these caring, loving specimens. From Mother's Day to some motherfuckers, EA. So we already talked about VR on Star Wars Battlefront 2, but Electronic Arts had some more this week, much more. In terms of sales, EA expects to sell 14 million copies of the upcoming Star Wars Battlefront 2, according to CFO Blake Jorgensen. At first I was like, well, 40 million copies, that's a bit much, isn't it? But then I checked and, well, that's pretty much the exact same number that they have sold with the first Battlefront, the remake that came out 2 years ago. So I actually think that they can even top this number. The main reason is because hype for Star Wars has grown even more in the last 2 years, because the franchise was surprisingly not destroyed when Disney and EA took over. But CFO Blake Jorgensen did not only talk about Star Wars, he also talked about Battlefield 1. For example, he hinted that free DLC and content is coming up for Battlefield 1. Now, they can certainly afford that because they also confirmed that there are over 19 million gamers that have played Battlefield 1 since release, which is about 50% more than Battlefield 4 managed to do in the same time frame. They also confirmed that their money printing machine, FIFA 17, managed to attract 21 million gamers, and its Ultimate Team had a growth of 13%. Now, that's what I call maximum profit with minimum effort. The same goes for The Sims, where they had a user growth rate of 33%. God damn it, EA. So it comes to me as a surprise that it took EA so long to release The Sims as a mobile version. They announced it this week and it is already available in Brazil, while other regions will follow. I mean, yeah, The Sims is a perfect game for a mobile phone. First, if you do it right, you don't even need so much processing power, and second, well, the main target group for mobile games and The Sims are female gamers. Now, don't get all rounded up. I personally enjoyed my time playing some Sims, and there sure are mobile games out there mainly for male players, but the mobile market and the direction it wants to go is clearly female. So I truly wonder why it took you so long to make a Sims mobile, EA. Seriously, what was the holdup? But I do not want to talk about mobile games because they suck and they bring down my mood. So let's look at other news that they had for us this week. Like news about the new Need for Speed that will come out eventually this year, and we will probably also hear something about it in this E3. But we already have some great news, except, well, it's not really great or news, because this should be standard, but okay, I will just say it. You will be able to play the next Need for Speed offline. Amazing, isn't it? The always-on requirement is gone and you can actually pause the game. That's just crazy. Oh man, what gaming has become. Also, EA expects that by the end of this year, 40% of all console games sales will be done via downloads, so online, so you don't buy a physical copy anymore. Well, it seems like a quite big number. I personally say, what, it's still only at 40%? I mean, what the fuck was all the talk about always on and no optical drive discussions that we had when the current console generation was announced, you know, with the PS4 and the Xbox One? Seriously, what was that? We're not even close to that today, and not even when the PlayStation 5 will come out, most likely in 2018 or whatever. Anyway, so far, FIFA 18 is the only game that was confirmed from EA to come out also for the Nintendo Switch. But according to CEO Andrew Wilson, that will change. EA gave up on Nintendo a while ago, especially because of the Wii U, but seems to be interested in the sales numbers of the Switch after its release. So it looks like EA thinks that the Switch will be a successful console and therefore worthy of development, so it will get more games. Well, that's the good news, but we also get some bad, or should I say disturbing news from EA, and it concerns Bioware. First, the new IP from Bioware that was supposed to come out in this financial year of 2018, which ends in March 2018, will now come out in the financial year of 2019. Now, that can mean a delay of only 1 month, so it will be released on the April 2018, or maybe even a whole year until the March 2019. We had a couple of weeks ago some rumors that the new IP goes with the code name Dylan, and that's the name of the protagonist, and that it is a mixture of Destiny and The Division. Anyways, let's see if we get any more information about that game during this year's E3, or if they stay silent, well, then it's probably gonna be a whole year delay. And the second disturbing news is, well, it looks like we won't get any information about a new Mass Effect game. As rumors had it, this week Bioware Montreal will be used again mainly as a support studio, and the Mass Effect series is put on hold for now. While most media expects the reason for that to be the fairly poor reception of Mass Effect Andromeda, although I personally think that it is quite fun, I think the main reason for that is that the Mass Effect franchise is just too valuable to give it to any developer. The main Bioware studio is just too busy with the new IP that we just talked about, and Bioware Montreal, the studio that was responsible for Mass Effect Andromeda, was, well, just overwhelmed by the task of making a new Mass Effect. Because, as other rumors will have it, just a couple of months ago, Mass Effect Andromeda was a mess. It was barely a playable game. So the fact that they somehow managed to pull off a game like that, and I mean a good one, seems like a miracle. So my take on that is that this rumor is true and Mass Effect is put on hold for now. because I think that even EA is capable of learning from their mistakes, even though they and other publishers do the same shit over and over and over again, which is releasing unfinished games, but they have to avoid that with the next Mass Effect, because otherwise the franchise is likely dead. Another franchise that might be on hold or maybe even dead is surprisingly Hitman. So what happened? Square Enix is selling Hitman developer IO Interactive, which is kind of surprising. Although I personally don't like episodic titles, I think that the last Hitman game was one of the best, if not even the best Hitman game so far. And the same goes for critics and gamers alike. Yet we do not know if it's sold well, and I just can't get my head around it why Square Enix is selling IO Interactive, even though they talk about some extraordinary losses, but the details are a bit sketchy there. Because Square Enix also said that they had a new record turnover of about $2 billion. That is 20% more than the year before. Now, they said that it was mostly because of Final Fantasy 15 and 14 and Tomb Raider, so I think that it is just like Square Enix says in their statement, that they just want to focus their resources on games and key franchises and studios like Final Fantasy, Tomb Raider, Kingdom Hearts, Deus Ex, Dragon Quest, and Thief. Wait, did it just say Thief? Oh yes, I did. Although not officially announced yet, the upcoming Thief movie was already in fact announced back in 2015, and it is in the making. And the studios responsible for the movie said in a statement that the 5th installment of the game is already also in the making and coming out alongside the movie. Interesting. And now, before we end the episode with something stupid, let's look at some news that might go under the radar otherwise. Paradox Interactive announced a new sci-fi strategy title called Surviving Mars. The developers will be Hemimont Games, the devs behind Tropico, and honestly I'm excited about this game because the Tropico titles, especially the last ones, were pretty good, and Paradox, although their DLC policy is sometimes questionable, but I'll talk about that some other time, Paradox is still one of my favorite publishers, and I think it is going to be a great combination, just like Paradox and Colossal Orders and City Skylines. Tokyo 42, a funny little game that you can see right here, will come out on the 31st of May, so only about 2 weeks until then. On PC, Xbox One and the PS4 will get it about mid-July. Rocket, the computer accessory manufacturer, has opened its own game development company and announced its first game, Sick City. It's a, well, how they put it, a tactical building-to-building combat up to 4 versus 4 squad-based street fighting game. Whatever that means. God damn it, there's no gameplay yet, but it looks to me like just a stupid-ass random mobile game that's just stupid and boring. I mean, look at the art style. They praise the art style as a unique art style, but I denounce this art style as some mobile bullshit art style that you can find in 95% of all mobile titles. Fuck me, man. The problem is that Sick City is not a mobile game. It is a full PC title. Stupid mobile games. I really hope that we can stop the indoctrination of mobile games nonsense into the real gaming platforms. Man, it should be the other way around. Real games should be coming to mobile. Damn it. Man, when Dynasty Warriors Unleashed came out for iOS and Android, I had hopes. But when I played it, I was utterly disappointed because like 90% of all the other mobile games out there, it basically plays itself. You barely have to do anything except for paying money, as always. Sure, Dynasty Warriors is mostly button smashing anyways, but you know, it can be a challenge if you want to. So luckily we also had an announcement for a brand new Dynasty Warriors game, Dynasty Warriors 9, this week. And believe it or not, they aim to make a different game. What the fuck? To live long enough to even see Dynasty Warriors change. Oh man, so is there actually even hope for the industry yet? Huh, interesting. So apparently it will be more open world, it will gonna have weather dynamics and day and night and whatnot. But I'll believe it when I see it, Koei. Oh man, what a crazy week. So let's end it with something stupid, and it's once again GameStop. So a mother in Havana, Florida goes into a GameStop and buys a used copy. You know, one from the various trade-in programs that GameStop has. A used copy of GTA 5 to give it to her 11-year-old son. So far, so fucking stupid, you retarded bitch. Oh, yeah, happy Mother's Day, by the way. Anyway, the real stupid thing is that the 11-year-old boy apparently found a little bag of meth inside the box. The police investigates and confiscated the drugs, and GameStop apologizes about all that and promises to make better and the usual shenanigans. But that's not the first time that has happened. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. Oh, no, wait, that was wrong. Last Christmas, a mother bought Splatoon in a GameStop shop for her 7-year-old, only to discover that there was a porno inside and not a game. But you know who's the real victim in the story? The poor fellow who forgot his bag of meth inside the box. I mean, do you know how much that thing is worth? Seriously, how much? I don't know. I don't do meth. Not even once. Crack for breakfast, yeah, but meth? No. That stuff kills you. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure to present you the game-breaking news of this week. Don't forget to put your thoughts on this week in gaming in the comment section down below and to press that like button as well, since that really helps out. Man, we had a busy week today and we're getting closer to E3, so we will see. Man, we had a busy week today and we're getting closer to E3, so I will see you next week with an all-new game-breaking news. Now, where the hell did I put my crack, damn it?